So let's go ahead and move on to the next story. We're talking about Nintendo again, and this is actually a pretty interesting story too, and a big change from from the norm when it comes to gaming. GameStop, that's it's going to be a huge change if they ended up leaving us. And Nintendo is following suit with a drastic statement that contradicts everything that we know about console gaming right now.
Right. So Nintendo, what's his name? His name is Shuntaro Furukawa.
Yeah, that's the president, right?
Yeah, he's Nintendo president. He was doing a talk with the Nikkei. That's like the Nikkei. He's doing an interview, and what he basically said is that they're not fixated on home consoles, and they are looking to deliver Nintendo experience outside of the traditional home console model. Mm-hmm. Now, people, when you look at that statement initially, and if you look at the Switch, you're like, well, the Switch is a home console, but it's not. Right?
It's not.
It's a portable that you can dock and use at home. And I think basically what he's saying is that going forward, Nintendo's consoles are going to be hybrids. They're more likely to be in the vein of the Switch. So we're not going to see a Wii or another Wii U or anything like a 64 or GameCube. You're going to see variations of the Switch. And it may not be called the Switch, but the Switch is the way to go. And I think what's going to happen, and we've talked about this, even as the Switch was gaining momentum and it showed how popular it was going to be, the DS is on its way out as well. They don't need two systems. All they need is the Switch. They can deliver old DS games online through the Nintendo Online service, even if they want it. They can deliver everything on. They can deliver all of their games from Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, all the way up through current generation and future generations on one device, a device that people can take with them. And when you look at the power of portable devices, when you look at cell phones and iPads and cell phones and tablets and even laptops, I mean, they're hugely powerful in small devices. Right. I mean, technically, if you look at the current generation of mobile phones, the Samsungs and the iPhones, they're more powerful than the Switch in a smaller device. Mm-hmm. So it'll be easy for Nintendo to scale up the power in a Switch type device and still keep it affordable.
Right. Yeah, or they could just go the cell phone model and just have an upgrade every 2 years or something. I don't know. Yeah, but it's definitely a smart idea, but definitely an untraditional idea, especially when you're talking about Nintendo, which has historically been a very historic company in terms of how they approach gaming. They were the last company to exit cartridges. Mm-hmm. Everybody was moving on to CD based gaming, and they decided they were going to give it one more round with the N64. Yep. And then when everybody moved over to DVDs from CDs, they went with the little optical discs,
mini disc,
mini discs, for the GameCube.
Yeah. And to be quite honest, they did do CDs with the Wii and the Wii U.
Yeah, the Wii U, they did
disc.
Yeah, they did discs. I think it was their own like media format disc, but there were discs all the same, Blu-ray discs or whatever. But still, this is very different for Nintendo. The Switch in itself has been very different from Nintendo's. This is the first hybrid console that ever.
And that has been as successful. And I think Nintendo, I knock on Nintendo for being the least powerful machine. As always, also ran as far as when it comes to power and graphical capabilities. But Nintendo was smart, right? So they made a device that's good enough and is tailored towards their first party titles. So when you look at Mario and you look at Zelda and you look at Smash and you look at Pokemon, on the Nintendo Switch, those games look good. Yeah. And for what they are, whereas mainly cartoon fantasy graphics, they don't have the super realistic things you would see on like in Marvel Spider-Man or a Halo or a Forza game. They don't have that. They don't have those type of IPs and they don't push that. So it works out really well for them. And the fact that they have those super classical, known, very popular from generationally popular from people my age to like 6, 7 year olds growing up right now,
Yeah.
they have those IPs that people want to play, and they proved it with the NES Classic, where Sony couldn't get anywhere with their classic device. You know, they have that cachet, and people will continually come back to Nintendo as long as they're giving them their Super Smash and their Mario and their Zelda and their Mario Kart. As long as they're giving them that stuff, they will continue to come back. It doesn't matter to them that the game is 3 years old, was released on a system nobody bought. They're still coming by it for $60 on the Switch because it's Nintendo.
I totally do not understand why the Wii U did not sell. I don't understand. Because what was wrong? I mean, besides it being like the inferior console, but that's the exact same thing that they've always done.
The thing with the Wii U is, I think they went too gimmicky with the tablet controller.
The tablet,
and when people saw that, it just, you know, all the people that brought the original Wii, they didn't. Why do I need this? Because Wii Sports still works, right?
Very true.
And general gamers were like, that's garbage. Why am I going to do that?
I don't know. I'm just saying, in terms of the games that are selling on the Nintendo Switch right now, a lot of those were Wii U games. It just blows my mind that people didn't buy those games on the Wii U.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, the new Super Mario Brothers game they just released today, or
I mean, every franchise game that came out on Wii U was the lowest selling version of that game. Every single one. Didn't make no sense.
Yeah, nobody bought Wii U. I think the Wii U was just too much of a gimmick, and it stayed behind when it needed to move up. I mean, the online was there, but it was barely there, and
it's still barely here, man. Freaking, you seen Smash Online? Connection's garb.
There's been a lot of other issues with Nintendo as far as moving their console to the future. Not necessarily with graphical abilities, but all the other ancillary features.
Yeah, well, they'll get a chance to work on it, you know, because we won't see a traditional home console for Nintendo for the foreseeable future. Is what it's seeming like.
Well, yeah, I don't think we'll ever see another. We'll never see another standard
standalone
or traditional traditional Nintendo console. I think it's always going to be a hybrid going forward because it worked out well. And to be quite honest, I've talked about this. I do like the form factor. I like being able to dock it and play it on my TV, or just pick it up and take it to the shitter.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't like the Joy-Cons. The Joy-Cons are probably the worst controllers that I've ever used in my life.
They are adequate. I wouldn't use them to play Smash, but
no,
playing a little Mario Kart or playing Gradius or playing Tecmo Bowl or something like that, it works.
Yeah, Tecmo Bowl is fun. All right, well, let's go ahead and move on. We got a couple more stories for you guys, and we mentioned Gearbox a little earlier in the stream, and yeah, they are back in the news.
Yeah,
so let's go ahead and get into this.
There was a little known suit going on at Gearbox. So one of their lawyers left, and the CEO and the company sued them for fraud and breach of fiduciary duty. Basically, what they're saying that is he took some money from the company for a down payment on the house. He misappropriated the company credit card, used it for personal expenses, and they were essentially suing him for that money back, right?
Okay.
And it happens. People are greedy. They steal from businesses. They embezzle, whatever.
Hey.
So this lawyer's like,
another Tuesday.
This lawyer's like, well, wait a minute. You're telling on me. So to me, when I read this story, I'm like, they knew what each other was doing stuff, and the split was not a clean split. So the CEO is like, oh, you're gonna do this, or I'm gonna get you. So the lawyer come back and is like, but wait a minute, dude, you stole $12 million from the company. You took a secret bonus that you didn't tell anybody about in 2010, and
so these is just snitching on each other.
Explosion, right?
Yeah.
So apparently the money that the lawyer took, so he misused his credit card, but he took the money he took for his home loan, and I guess he took money for tuition, was supposed to be a loan. It was for his down payment on his home. It was supposed to be a loan, and he's supposed to pay it back. He hasn't paid it back, so they sue him for the money back. Fine. But yeah, it seems like in 2016, the CEO took a $12 million bonus in secret that nobody really knew about, and now this is out, and Gearbox is now having trouble.
Oh god, man! Gearbox is a very, very strange company. We were just talking about this, before we started the show. Gearbox is responsible for some of the best and some of the worst things in video game history ever.
Stop.
What?
They're responsible for one great game,
Borderlands.
Yes, and everything else they released is garbage.
Well, they released a couple of Borderlands games. That counts as a couple good things. Okay. Borderlands is a dope IP, but a lot of the other things that they've done is just like, what the hell is wrong with you guys?
And to be fair, Battleborn was actually a really good game.
Yeah, Battleborn. That's not a bad game.
If you like MOBAs, it just when it was released, it was compared to a game that had no business being compared to. Yeah, and that was Overwatch. It was like Overwatch or Borderlands or Overwatch. I mean, Battleborn, but Overwatch is better. But Overwatch is a first-person shooter. Yeah. Battleborn is a MOBA in the first-person view. And that was a problem with that's what killed Battleborn, is that people didn't actually know what it was and didn't take it for what it was. But it's not a bad game. But they've released garbage recently. I mean, they're going the route of Bethesda, where they keep releasing the same game over and over again, because they re-released Borderlands, then they released Borderlands VR, and now they're releasing so they did Borderlands 2. Then they did the prequel, Borderlands whatever. They released this generation. They released the Borderlands bundle that was upgraded, and then they released Borderlands VR, and now they're gonna re-release Borderlands again for some reason. So make a new game that is not trash, and stop stealing money from the company and suing each other. Is my advice.
Stop stealing money from the company and suing each other. Yeah.
Right.
So that's the New Year's resolution right there. Let's stop suing each other and stealing.
But to be more serious, this I think this is problematic, because this can lead to another Telltale issue, right?
Oh yeah,
where the company is being. It sounds to me that this company is being poorly managed, and if they're mismanaging money this way, there's other things that are being mismanaged, and it can spell it in. When I read this story, the first thing that came to my mind was, we have another Telltale. And I wouldn't be surprised in 9 months from now, we hear Gearbox laying off people. Gearbox is closing, because it sounds like their management right now is poor.
Yeah, and they've taken a lot of hits. I mean, some very notable ones in very recent years. I mean, Aliens Colonial Marines, that was last gen, but that was a freaking disaster. Mm-hmm. That was a full-on disaster.
And when you look at Gearbox, what do they have right now?
You're asking the wrong one. I'm about to look it up right now.
They don't have anything. I can tell you what they have. Borderlands.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it.
That's it. So they're not only are they being poorly managed, they're not releasing any content for anybody. They're just re-releasing the same games over and over again, and I don't see anything new. Maybe they have something to show us. I think they were supposedly be working on Borderlands 3. They teased that a couple of years ago, but we haven't heard anything.
A while ago. Haven't heard anything about it.
So, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know either, man. We Happy Few, disaster. Yeah. Yeah. That game was garbage.
Hot garbage.
Yeah. So something's gonna have to give over there, man. I don't know what's going on. We're gonna keep our ears to the streets, but man, every time we talk about Gearbox, it's just like a full-on disaster going on over there.
Exactly.
Well, we'll have to wait and see what happens next. All right. Last up on our top 5 stories is CES 2019. CES is the Consumer Technology Association, and it went down in Vegas this year between the 8th and 11th of January. So it just ended.
It just ended
yesterday on Friday.
Yep.
So what's going on here?
So I mean, we're going to focus on the games. They had a lot of stuff.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
TV was huge. The coolest TV I saw was LG with the rollable OLED TV. Ooh. Basically, it comes in like a box, just like our green screen. It rolls up and down like that.
What? It's like a projector? TV?
Yeah, it's in a roll, and it just rolls up and rolls down. You press a button, it rolls up and rolls. It's cool as hell.
That's
they
crazy.
they also took a bunch of OLED TVs, and they like put it all over the place, and they made like a virtual waterfall. So it came down, it was curved coming down the screen. Samsung, they released a 177-inch the wall TV. Another cool thing I saw out there that I thought was really cool was LG has a 4K laser short projector.
Wow.
It's 120-inch screen, and it only has to be up to 7 inches away from the wall, and it'll be able to display 120-inch, I believe, 122-inch 4K laser show projector, which was dope. But let's talk about the gaming stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, that's on the edge of gaming, because if you got tons of money, you can buy some of these TVs and up your gaming pleasure. Another thing that was really interesting, and this is you're not going to care because you're not in the Apple ecosystem.
No,
but a lot of the TVs coming out this year are compatible with Apple AirPlay. So like before, you had to have the Apple TV box to do Apple AirPlay. Now you can just do it directly to the TV. And it's been years. TVs have been built with Chromecast for years. So Apple's just getting into the party. And that's kind of cool. But moving on to the gaming. One of the biggest gaming news you're going to hear out of there, or the biggest gaming name there, was HTC. And HTC brought out 2 new Vive VR headsets. They have the Vive Cosmos, which is a kind of a standalone headset. You can use it with a cell phone, or you can use it with a PC. It also can be connected. That's it. Yeah. So that's cool. They introduced Vive, what they call Vive Pro Eye. Which it actually has eye tracking, and it changes the position, which and the resolution of the screen and refresh rate based on how your eyes are reacting, to make a smoother, better, cleaner image, which is cool. And then Viveport, which is their store, they added an Infinite program. What's it, Viveport Infinity, I think it is, and it's basically a subscription service for Vive VR games. So you can play select number of games, almost think of like the Game Pass type service that Microsoft has. So they introduced those 3 things. Vive is by far the more expensive when you compare it to Oculus. They do have we talked about this. They do have the wireless adapter, so you can go truly wireless, but still be connected to the PC. It's not the same as what Oculus is coming out with, which is a standalone headset which has everything built into it. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes, how this goes over. I don't know. I'm definitely into the new Oculus that's coming out. I'm not sure I'm interested in being tethered anymore. Like I have I have the the PSVR. I have this Lenovo one, which the tethering annoys me. I mean, I was playing not too long ago and I almost fell because I got the damn wire wrapped around my leg.
Oh my god,
it's stupid. It annoyed the hell out of me. I was playing Creed again, and I was trying to box and I was trying to move, and for some reason I don't know what I did, but it just wrapped around my ankle. I'm like,
yeah, don't kill yourself, man.
So now I've
end up like Apollo.
I punched the wall a couple of times. I've almost fell. I think VR is very dangerous.
It is. It sounds dangerous
in this current iteration. So, I'm definitely more interested in the wireless and self-contained type sets. But I mean, I don't really have much else to say about the Vive. I think it's too expensive for what it is. I mean, for a decent Vive setup, it starts at $800. If you want the full experience, you're looking at about $1,200. That's not including the PC. That's just the Vive itself and the sensors and all the other good stuff. Moving on from there, we had some gaming monitors. That was another big thing. I think one of the biggest stories out of the CES and gaming monitors is NVIDIA's G-Sync feature, which basically what G-Sync does is the same as FreeSync. It matches it has the monitor to match the frame rate that the game is running in. So if you play the game and the frame rate is going up and down, the screen to match it, that limits tearing and pop-ins and all of that stuff. So what they're doing is this. NVIDIA G-Sync monitors are usually $100 to $150 more expensive just because NVIDIA. They have gone back and they have certified about 20 or 25 monitors that are currently compatible with AMD's FreeSync. They've going to go back and they've certified them to be compatible with G-Sync, and it's just going to work via an update. So if you already have one of these monitors, or if you can grab one of these monitors right now, they're older models, they're models from last year, so they're typically going to be cheaper. You can get yourself a very good low cost monitor that's going to work with your G-Sync, with the G-Sync technology. Another thing that they released is low cost ray tracing GPU. So when they released the GTX, the 2080 series, the 2080 Ti, that was the only one that had the ray tracing. I mean, they'll start at about $1,100. They released, like, I think it's the 2060 now that is going to work with ray tracing, and those start more in the $500 to $600 range. So it's a little bit cheaper there, more accessible to more people. We'll see how that works with the less power on those chips, if they can really produce that great the great feature. Another thing at CES, big thing was the BFGs, and they're not big fucking guns.
No, not the big fucking guns from Doom.
They're big format gaming monitors, BFG monitors, big format gaming monitors, and we're looking at gaming monitors that are 40 inches and above with all of the gaming features, the variable frame rate. We look at the FreeSync and the G-Sync. They have the low refresh rate, the low response times, 1, 2, 3 millisecond response times. HDR, a lot of them 4K. They have who was it? Is it LG? I forget the company, but one of them had like a 43-inch ultra wide curved monitor that it looked beautiful. It's not really 4K, but it looked nice. So I mean, that was a huge deal there. And then of course there were the gaming laptops, right? It's always the gaming laptops. I mean, look at the gaming laptops. There's a lot of them. A couple of them were really interesting. I think it is it Asus? See, I gotta look through the notes now, because one of these companies have released basically a Surface as a gaming laptop. It's a Surface type build tablet. It's Asus, the ROG mothership.
Okay.
It's formatted like the Surface Pro. I mean, it's super thick. I mean, it's not as thin as the Surface Pro, but it's got the detachable keyboard. You can use that as a tablet. It's 17-inch screen. It can get up to the i9 Intel i9 core i9 processor. I mean, you can get the RTX 2080 in it. So it's definitely a gaming PC, but it's in the form factor of like the Surface or Surface Pro tablet. Another company that did one was Acer. They did one called the Predator, and that's the one that you can actually use as a gaming laptop when you have the keyboard attached, but you can detach the monitor, which has all of the CPU components into it, and use it as just a tablet. It's just not going to be as powerful.
Right.
Another one that came out, which is really cool, is and this is, I put this under the gaming curiosity. Mm-hmm. This is the Alienware Area 51 51M, and what that is, it's a gaming laptop that allows you to upgrade your GPU and your CPU. So you can keep the core case, your monitor, and everything else is in there. And RAM, memory, and hard drives have always been upgradable on laptops. But the CPU, GPU, most times were soldered into the board. You couldn't change them. Now this you can. So you can actually, extend the life of your $3,000, $2,000 gaming laptop for more than just a couple of years before, the next new graphics card with new technology or the next multi-core processor comes out, you can just drop a new one in there.
Yeah, that's
I think
one of the main reasons why I haven't gotten a laptop since my previous one is that, you know, as soon as I bought it, it was obsolete. I felt like.
Right. It comes with like liquid cooling, but it's on the Intel. It's using Intel chips, so it's going to be the Intel socket, whatever. I think it was the LG77. I don't know. It's LGA something. But it's the Intel socket. It's you can get it with the i9. So that's actually really cool. It's definitely a progressive step. Now I don't
think so.
It doesn't say if you're buying the chips directly from like go to Micro Center and buy a processor, or if it's like a component that you have to get, where it's a component you buy from Alienware, where the new chip for your laptop is available, just grab it from us and slide it in. I'm unclear on. Yeah. But it's definitely a step in the right direction. It's cheaper to buy a graphics card or a new processor than it is to buy a brand new
Alienware gaming laptop.
Yeah, because those, I mean, they're $3,000 and up. I mean, they're not cheap.
No, not at all. Yeah. And when I was talking about my laptop, it wasn't a gaming laptop, but still, like, I bought it and then like it was obsolete like the next year.
Yeah, that's always with laptops. So that's why when I buy, like, I bought a laptop. When I buy a laptop, I buy the biggest, baddest possible because I know it's going to last for several years. Yeah. Because if you go in and you buy like a mid or just like the cheapest laptop, within a year or two, you're not going to be able to use it. Yeah. You buy the laptop that has the fastest processor, the biggest, the most memory, hard drive. Again, you can upgrade that. The best screen available. You know you're going to be able to use that for 2, 3, 4 years before you have to get another one.
Right, but yeah, that was just about all that happened in terms of gaming at CES 19. If you would like a complete list of what we found interesting at CES, we'll have links on our show notes, and you can check those out at our Facebook page. So make sure that you like us on Facebook. That way you can get all of our sources and extended notes on everything that we talk about here in the podcast.